Hello world, it's Dave again. It's another teaching in Japan video. Not to do specifically with the teaching, but maybe just of your experience coming over here. Kind of a stream of conscious for me here. Something I've been thinking about recently. That will actually come off somewhat ironic for the fact that I make videos about how to maybe have a better experience if you come over here to do what it is I'm doing, which is teaching. Um, but like the title suggests, I want to talk about the idea that if you're going to come over here and do this, that you're going to have a lot of, at least I did, again, I can only speak to my experience, you're going to have a lot of people who want to tell you what your experience is going to be like. In a way, myself included, because I make videos to outline how you could improve your experience here. But what I'm talking about is something maybe that shows up a little more negatively. For example, to tell an anecdote of my experience when I started to come over here, it seemed as though every single person that I mentioned to that I wanted to come over to Japan, I wanted to teach, I thought that was something of interest to myself. Everybody wanted to tell me about their experiences and how they'd been there for so many years and done this and that, and this is how it is, and I should expect this and do that and do this, until I kind of got fed up with it, where I was like, I'm not going over to Japan to relive someone else's experience. I'm going over to Japan to have my own experiences. And I just wanted to talk about that because I think it kind of gets lost, and I think it might be a little bit discouraging when people think about coming here and it all starts to feel done before. You feel like you've been there, done that before you've even stepped onto the plane to head out there or here, sorry. And I would say that that is not the case. If somebody makes it seem like you're just going over to have an experience like they're describing to you, it's garbage. It's not true at all, because when we come over here, there is such a variety of experience waiting for you, let alone in the basic variety of where it is that you might teach, because everywhere in Japan is different. It's not the hugest island in the world, but absolutely from north to south, you're going to get different people, and even within Japanese culture, different cultures. And that is what your experience is made up of. It's made up of these very, very individual things to yourself personally. And no matter what somebody tells you about how much you can predict of your experience here, you're going to come over and you're going to do something incredibly unique. It's just the nature of individuality that you should not think that it's already been said and done before you arrive here. And I found that listening to people, that was kind of the theme that was arising, that it was like, oh, you're going to go over and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and you should expect this and expect that. And I really didn't like it. And I'm glad to say that when I came over, it's not true. It's what I'm saying is that no matter, even if you went to the same area that somebody talks about them having gone to, they are not you. It's not you who went to that area, it's them. And when you come over here, you're going to do your own thing. A perfect example that I have for this is probably what I'll base this talk on, are the schools that I teach at. The schools that I teach at are relatively close to my home. There's only 2 of them, which is a big bonus in my case, because a lot of people get many, many, many schools, and it's hard to develop relationships, I think, because of that. So I kind of lucked out in that. There's something from my personal experience I really enjoyed. But when I went to these schools, I noticed that I got assigned to them at very strange times, and nobody would tell me a great deal about them when I was initially asking. And then as I was just heading out, and I'd said, sure, I'll do that assignment, that's fine, I started to hear a little bit more, and kind of the gist of it was that these were horrendous schools. And in fact, the schools that I had inherited was because the previous teacher couldn't hack it and had been driven mad by the students. So you can imagine this was a little bit of a situation for me to face when I thought about going out. I was like, oh man, this doesn't really bode well for myself here if I'm going into this kind of situation that's already so horrible and so cursed, as it were. But I didn't let that cloud my judgment for what I'm talking about now. I continued this focus of, when I go there, I get to have my own experience, and my belief will create my world, And so when I went to these schools, it was true that some of the kids were a little bit difficult. But when I focused on what I could do as opposed to what they were doing, it was amazing how that very quickly drifted into the background. I was very quickly reminded of the fact that these are just kids. And if you're letting kids get under your skin, then you're gonna let anybody under your skin. And this video isn't to criticize the other person who just kind of like gave up and moved on from these schools because they found it too difficult. It's more just to, like I say, make the point that you can create your own experience, and because somebody else had a bad experience, usually is only a result of their own perspective. And so when you come over here, I don't mean to say ignore what everybody says, but take everything with a grain of salt and bring your approach to it and bring a positive approach to it. And I think you can overcome almost anything. I don't mean for this video to be a sort of cliched, rah-rah for feeling positive, but it is. It is. It's absolutely true that your belief and your approach is what's going to define your experience here. And so much of what we view as negative or what people allow to get under their skin is just based in fear. It's not based in something that you can't overcome, and fear so often is an illusion. It's self-imposed. We have all these insecurities that we bring to bear on whatever situation it is, and then we allow that to override whatever optimism we might have brought to the table. But you don't have to. You don't have to listen to that voice. You don't have to listen to these other voices who said that it's all done before. You're coming over as an individual. You're going to have an individual experience. So if you hear that you got the worst school, make it the best school. If you hear that the staff is difficult, find the staff that are wonderful. It's just the nature of evil that it is louder than what is positive. You don't have good people saying, "Hey, look at me. I'm a fantastic person. You should get to know me." That's not the nature of someone who's a positive person. It's usually the more negative aspects of our experience that stand out because that's the nature of evil. That's just what happens. Negative things stand out. They want to grab your attention. They want to grab your focus. And you'll find that as well of people who might be telling you negative stories. They're trying to dominate your perspective with theirs because they had a negative time. So how could you have a positive time? It's like they want to extend their personal experiences to everyone if they were negative, So don't let that happen. Remain positive. Create your own existence here, as is your right and as is possible, because you really do define it, depending on your approach. And I think you'll have a fantastic time. So live and learn. Don't now stop watching any of my videos if you enjoy watching my videos, because I really appreciate that. And I am just, take what you can that's useful from this. I'm just saying, don't let one perspective dominate your opinion of the experience that you're going to have. Always hold in your mind that it's going to be unique. For whatever you learn, for whatever people tell you, it's going to be unique and largely a result of your own approach. So that's it. This doesn't need to be like a 30-minute rant. Yeah, so I'm gonna recommend a song here. It's going to be from the relatively new Kid Cudi album called Just Who I Am, and I'll post that down in the link down below. It's kind of cool. I like it. And the Japanese word that I'm going to go with today is to finish, which is owarimasu. So there you go. I'll put that down below. The past tense is owarimashita. So finish and finished. So you got the song. My contact will be down below, of course, and you've got the Japanese word. And like I like to say, until we meet again next time, world, have your own experience. Thanks for tripping with Dave, and ciao for now.